Hi, this is Olena of OlenaValet.com. Yes, I said it. And welcome to this Clearly Aligned Live. Hi guys. Oh, I see the hearts. Let me know where you're coming from and give me your mood in an emoji. I want to know what your mood is like, what you're feeling like, your vibe, you can say, in an emoji. Simply Maggie, good to see you. Katie Jane, do you want to really go on live with me? Because if you want, we can. Hello. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I am. I started it with a meditation with my husband, and I'm very, very happy when we do that. It's like the best thing ever when we meditate together. It just makes me so happy. I mean, it doesn't, I think that expression is actually super flawed. It makes me happy. It's that my vibration was happy. And therefore, as a result, I had a happy thought. And that happy thought led to a happy action. And that just reinforced my happy vibration. That's actually how things work. And I think our language around happiness actually causes us to be really stuck in unhappiness because we think that that happiness is somewhere outside in some experience rather than right here, right? And so even that, it makes me happy, that expression, oh, you make me so happy, is total fucking bullshit. Okay, I see your emojis. Hello. Samantha's here. Oh my God. Good to see you guys. Gulbana. Hello. Good to see you. Pia is here. Amazing. Good to see you. So today I want to talk about, of course, alignment, but a different aspect always, right? There's always things to say about alignment, different situations that occur, etc. But today somebody actually asked me a question about this, and I thought it was so good. And it speaks to a greater way of manifesting and creating the life that you want. So I thought it would be beneficial to share it with you guys. So here it is. I'm going to read you the question so you know what's going on. Ooh, Mamma Mia says hello from Rome. Hello. Buongiorno. That's awesome. So that's funny that you're in Rome because this person is currently in Rome that asked me the question. Oh, there's no such thing as a coincidence. But okay. This person asked me, she said, thought, when manifesting something, how do you know where the line is to know when to stop trying to make it happen? I'm new to this whole mindset and I really want something and I feel like I need to know when it's too much and move on. And so I asked her, like, what do you mean by too much? Okay, there's somebody banging something up upstairs. I am sorry for that. Could never predict my neighbors. But anyway, I said, what do you mean by too much? And she said, like, I extended my trip in Italy kind of for a boy, but he just found out work is taking him to a different city. Do I stay in Rome and wait for him or just keep traveling Italy? I don't know what to do. And I'm like, oh my God, this is such a good question. And I mean, we discussed it with her. She now knows what's up, but I want to discuss it with you guys because sometimes we have a desire, right? I mean, not sometimes. We fucking have desires all day long, every day, all the time. That is the nature of our experience here, is to have desires and then create based on those desires. But a lot of us, we fucking get distracted with shit we don't want, right? And that's why we're manifesting really dumb shit all the time. Because we're not consistent on knowing and trusting that if I have this desire, whatever it is, to, find my dream man, to, have meaningful, well-compensated work that I do, right? Like clear skin. It doesn't fucking matter what you want. You wanting it means it's already fucking yours, okay? In the Law of Attraction books, it even says, ask and it is given. As in, literally, as soon as you ask, it's 99.9% yours. It's there already. But that 0.01%, I had to do the math for a second, right? That leftover tiny little thing there is just you allowing that shit in. And this person here, she was trying to manifest a companion, a boy, right, on her trip, and she did. She manifested this. So she got what she wanted. and then she ruined it. But I don't mean she made any mistakes. There's no such thing as you making a mistake. You'll still get what you want, always, okay? It's just sometimes instead of taking the beeline to your desire, you take the fucking long, windy road there, okay? So one of the ways in which we basically block the thing from coming into our awareness is by not trusting that it's possible. Basically, so in this case, right, this girl, she wanted the boy. And so, but she was leaving, she had other plans. Instead of continuing with her plans, it's okay, like the boy is still there, right? Like, no, so what if he's in Rome? She can come back to Rome some other time. Like she had her own program that she was on. But instead of trusting, right, that he's not going to go anywhere. Like if he's mine, he's mine. It's fine. I'm just going to go and have fun and do the rest of my trip as I planned. The fear sets in. The fear sets in and says, okay, here's your one and only opportunity. Don't fuck it up. What can you do to, spend more time with him? Oh, okay, I'm going to prolong this trip here. And then as soon as you start clinging to the experience, right? You already have the experience that you wanted, but as soon as you start clinging to it, as soon as it means like something about you, because often it's like, oh my God, if I don't jump now, then somehow something is gonna, it's never gonna turn out the way I want and blah, blah, blah. And then there's all these stories. So as soon as those stories begin, as soon as you start clinging and you're afraid of losing something, which is impossible to you if you're a deliberate creator, it's impossible. But anyway, as soon as you forget you're a deliberate creator and start holding on to that experience like this, it disappears. Right? And this is exactly what this person did. She, instead of just going with the flow and continuing on and feeling good, she's like, oh no, must control this. Do not trust the universe. And that's what it sends to the universe, is this message of, I don't trust you, so I'm going to take over now. Okay? And when we do that, we fuck shit up. Okay? We just fuck it up. And I'll give you literally the exact same example, but when there was no clinging. And the example, of course, is me meeting my husband. And if you guys are interested in like a detailed explanation of how I manifested my husband, I have, I think, a 2 or 3 part training series in my More Than Skin community, like of how I manifested my dream man, how I manifested my dream life, all this stuff in detail in there. But when I met my husband, I had a plan. Like I was traveling and I met him on my last night in Paris. The next time I was supposed to go, or the next day, literally the next morning, I was supposed to go to Nice. And then after Nice, I had one more night in Paris. And after that, I was going to go to Ukraine. And many of us women, we do this interesting thing. I don't care if guys do this because it's us ladies talking, right? They might do this too, but I'm talking about us. So we do this thing when we might have a plan, right? We're doing something. Like it might be just hanging out with your friends tomorrow night. And then a guy calls and he asks you, hey, what are you doing? And then you say, well, I was going to hang out with my friends. Like he asked, what are you doing tomorrow night? Well, I was going to hang out with my friends, because you expect now to drop your friends and hang out with this dude instead. This is a thing that many of us do, and it ruins everything. If you have plans with your friends, or if you have plans on a trip or whatever the fuck, and somebody shows up in your experience, it doesn't mean you have to change your fucking plans. It means that you just met somebody and that's really cool and you enjoy that present moment and then you keep going, right? But there is none of this trust. And that's why we go, well, I was going to go to that other city and blah, 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 but if you want to hang out tomorrow night, well, we can do it, you know? And it's this like desperate energy that is actually super repulsive in the law of attraction sense. So instead of attracting what you want, you end up literally repelling it. So again, when I met my husband on the last night in Paris and it went really well, I didn't change my plans. Sure, I could have stayed in Paris longer, but I didn't. Instead, I went to Nice, had fun. He, by then, was planning our next date on the next night I was in Paris, right? We had our second date. And then what did I do? Did I stay? Because we had an amazing second date. You know, it could have been like, oh, I'm changing my plans. No more Eurovision for me. No, instead I went to Ukraine and I had fun with my family and I, you know, maintained contact with my husband. And now he's my husband. I didn't know he was going to be my husband, right? But along the way, there was never, and this was very, very important, and I practiced this consciously. There was no grasping. There was no like, if it doesn't work out, I don't know what's gonna happen. There was none of that shit. It was just like, I don't know how it's gonna turn out. I'm just gonna go with the flow and enjoy the present moment. He doesn't make me happy. I'm happy now, right? I'm happy now. I'm choosing to feel good first. So I was just working on myself, just working, hanging out with my family, just enjoying stuff. And then I would make time for him when he called, right? So I still fit him into my schedule, but I didn't change my whole life to revolve around him, right? And many of us fucking do. And many of us, though, I'm talking about a romantic situation, but many of us make our whole lives revolve around that desire, like clear skin, right? Everything revolves around the clear skin suddenly, right? There's all this is the equivalent of grasping that clear skin. You're just like trying to keep it here. But the more you grasp, the further away it gets, right? We don't trust that our desires are ours for a reason and that they are already ours. There's nothing you have to do, okay? Except, of course, tend to your vibration. Choose to feel good right now. And then from that choosing to feel good, you'll have a good thought. That good thought will lead to maybe a good word or a good action, right? That feels good. And then you will reinforce that cycle of feeling good. And you will notice that the people that come into your awareness, the experiences and blah, 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 they'll feel better and better and better and better. And even if there's a twist of fate and something turns out the way you don't want or blah, 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 because you're in alignment, you're able to handle it with so much grace that a solution is right there. You know, a graceful response if needed, a graceful, I don't know, buying of whatever. I don't know, because there's so many, situations where things pop up, right? But when you're out of alignment, you are grasping and you're afraid. You're afraid to surrender. You think you have to control everything, right? And literally, this applies to all areas of life, not just romantic relationships, where many people, they start to repel their dream partner because they're so afraid to lose their dream partner. It's not like that. Like, if you want a dream partner, you can't be all like, oh my God, it's the end of the world if for some reason he doesn't love me. No, because that right there is still you needing to love yourself more, right? Like, if somebody doesn't choose you, it doesn't say anything about you unless you're out of alignment, right? Because when you're in alignment and somebody doesn't choose you, you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. The universe is supporting me and it's guiding me. And the person that is there, like for me, that is meant for me, that is going to be that exact thing that I want and I've always wanted and always dreamed of, he's out there. That's all that this means, right? But when we're out of alignment and something bad happens, we're like, oh my God, this means something. I'm unlovable. Oh, I'm not worthy. Oh, no good men exist. And other lies, other misperceptions. Does this make sense? So what is very, very important is if you have a desire, that's good, okay? But now, do you believe it? Do you believe that it can happen for you? Because if you simultaneously hold the idea of, I want clear skin, and then clear skin is unavailable to me, you can't get clear skin. This is like total psychological dissonance, and it will cause like nothing to happen, right? So you have to work on reprogramming those subconscious limiting beliefs that might be totally in opposition to your desire, okay? I should show it like this. Your desire is here, your subconscious belief might be here, right? But your subconscious is stronger than your conscious. And so you have to sometimes rework your limiting beliefs and understand like, okay, I've always had a limiting belief that money doesn't grow on trees and that I have to really work hard for it. And so for me, it's hard to like let go and receive money easily. So you start with the affirmation that money comes to me from thin air. Money comes to me from thin air. Money comes to me from thin air. Like that was something I had to work on, my money mentality, because On the one hand, I believed that I could be wealthy as fuck. And then on the other hand, I was programmed because of my surroundings and my upbringing that it had to be difficult, you know? And now I know it isn't. It never had to be difficult. It was just a belief, a limiting belief. But many people have limiting beliefs about so many things, right? About relationships where, oh, there are no good men available because I had some bad experiences. So all men are cheaters, you know, blah, 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 blah. Like random dumb shit. So you want the dream man, but you believe that all men are cheaters. I think you have to work on this, let go of this belief so that you can get up here and actually attract this man who, if he's your dream, he's not a fucking cheater, right? Oh man. And the same is very, very fucking true with clear skin. So if you want clear skin, but your belief is if I eat the wrong food or do anything wrong whatsoever, then that clear skin is unavailable to me, right? Then unless you let go of this fear around clear skin, you can't get the clear skin. And many people, they don't realize how many disempowering stories they tell themselves about the thing that they actually want, which keeps them stuck. It keeps them stuck. And whatever hypothesis you have, whether it's no good men available, whether it's clear skin requires all the fucking effort and no fucking enjoyment, whatever your hypothesis, your brain will prove it to you. You will find that in your experience. It's very powerful because any perception that you have becomes your reality. So how you choose to see things, whether you choose to see them in a really beautiful and expansive way, you know, in a universe that supports you, or whether you you choose to see it in a way that doesn't serve you, that feels super fucking stressful and struggling and hard, whatever you choose as your perception, or misperception, as I like to say, is your reality, period. So, you know, there are people say, I feel like this because of you, blah, blah, blah. That is true for them, right? That is their reality. Even if it's not true for you, it is true for them because that's what they've decided. Right? So that's lately what I've been understanding is that we're all actually having a totally different experience. So you know how two people, they could be having a conversation, but one person will perceive it as one thing and the other person will perceive it as a totally different thing. You know what I mean? Unless you're both super in alignment, then you'll notice it's very easy then to communicate, and you'll notice you'll be perceiving things similarly. That's what I have found. And so the more in alignment I am, the more in alignment the people around me are. And it's really fucking awesome, right? Because then I don't have to over-explain myself, and I don't have to blah, 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 blah. And in fact, I don't really have, I'm not available for it anymore too. And I found myself thinking that I was available for it a few days ago. And then I realized that no, it was only an opportunity for me to actually raise my standards once again. And that's what life does. It will always, it's expansive. It presents you with myriad opportunities to raise your standards and raise your self-love, right? Like raise the way you behave with yourself, keeping promises to yourself, you know, listening to yourself, all these things. It just gives you ample opportunities to keep expanding, essentially, right? Because that's what it's there for. So in this case of this girl who tried to cling to this relationship, right? She met this guy, she's clinging now. And this is something if anyone can relate, please, you know, say, I did this, I've done this. Like, I've done this in the past. Oh my God, for sure. I remember one particular instance. Oh yeah. So it's totally, what am I trying to say? It's totally normal, right? For us to go through this learning. But also, I think if we want to start manifesting really easily, we have to learn to let go. So like you want something, but then you let go of that outcome. Because, and what's really helped me is this understanding that the universe has 3 answers. Yes, not yet, and I've got something better, right? So if I didn't get what I wanted, I'm not like, oh my God, I'll never get it. Where is it? Where is it? I have to effort so hard now. No, if I didn't get it, then I'm like, okay, it's on its way. Or something better might be happening. And that puts me in a state of excitement, right? Instead of like scared and nervous anticipation, you know? And when I'm excited, that is the energy of allowing, which is that 0.1% that is missing, right? Of the ask and it is given. You ask, it's 99.9% given. But that 0.1%, that's right? 0.01%. I don't know why this like is confounding right now. That remaining percent, 0.1%, whatever, is the art of allowing. That's it. Right? So when you're excited for your future and it's unfolding, and for your even, not just your future, for the present moment, however the present moment is looking, many of us were like resisting it. We're judging it. Firstly, we judge it and then we resist it because we always think we know better than the universe knows, right? So if I have the situation in front of me, it sucks. Why isn't it like the other way that I wanted? And like I was planning this, but instead I got this. So then you find yourself focusing on what you don't want instead of seeing that, oh shit, so this happened this way because the universe has planned something better for me. Oh my God, I can't wait to find out what it is, you know? And then do you see how those are totally different vibes? Like one is woo, allowing, and then the other one is right? And many people, they live in instead of woo. And then it's rough. It's really fucking rough because over here you have the solutions, you have the guidance, you have the sparkle, you have the joy, you have the love, you have the support, you have the abundance, you have the wealth, you have the health, you have fucking everything, okay? And then over here you fucking have nothing. You lack the clarity, you lack the fun, everything feels hard. I mean, truth is unavailable to you. You make the wrong decisions for you that don't serve you. You don't listen to yourself. You're just like, I don't know, I'm desperate. What do I do? Tend to your vibration. Reach for better feeling thoughts. Literally, there is always something in this present moment to be grateful for. Always, 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 always. If you have a fucking phone to be watching this live, be grateful that you have this phone, that you have the internet, that you have the capabilities or the capacities to pay for this phone and to have this connection right now, right? To be fucking conscious, awake, to have hair, I don't know, anything, like literally anything. And when we choose to focus on what feels good, we are allowing. But when we are like, oh my God, what if it doesn't work out? We're disallowing, literally. We're either allowing or we're disallowing. We're either empowered or we're disempowered. That's it, right? And many of us, we don't realize what it is that we're choosing to focus on, right? And so this person, she was first focusing on the awesomeness of this relationship, and then she started focusing on the lack of this relationship and what that would mean and what that would look like and what that would feel like. And guess the fuck what? Then the guy gets transferred to another location, and then their plans are fucked, right? Does this make sense? Ooh, KPPK says, I had the same experience meeting my partner. I was so attached to the idea of a relationship, and until I did something for myself, it was just a struggle. Yep. I mean, I'm sure so many of us have been there. Morales Vane says, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Rashmi Chaudhary says, hi, Olena. I try to believe in abundance, but the work hard to earn money, men are disloyal. These beliefs are so deep-rooted, I'm unable to let them go. Overthinking, judging. Totally. It's hard for us because we have been conditioned. This isn't you, Rashmi, by the way. This is very important for us to understand. Our limiting beliefs are not us. They're not of us. They were conditioned. And by our, surroundings, the people in our lives, and our environment. They were conditioned into us when we were children, and we were fucking highly, the word impressionable, highly impressionable, right? Because we needed to be able to survive in our environment. So we were watching how everyone else was thinking and doing things so that we then would pick that shit up and behave the same way. Basically like a Pavlovian dog. You train the dog to salivate, So we have been trained with certain responses, reactions, beliefs about our own environment, right? But what we have to understand is they were never ours. They aren't ours still. They never will be ours. We just picked them up like a really old, stupid program, that you put, you run some shitty software on a computer, right? And the computer starts acting out. That's what's happening. We just have some shitty software. But once you become aware, and you're aware, which is like amazing, right? Once you become aware of those limiting beliefs, you can communicate with yourself. Like, you know that loyal men, of course, exist. And you know that some people, they earn money like this easily. They don't have to work hard. They just are themselves and they get paid for it. I see so many people out there in the world, I think me included, but I see even people working less hard than me, making a shit ton of money. People are just donating to them for being awesome. Here, take some money. Literally, this is possible, right? So once you start seeing those examples, it automatically disproves those beliefs that you're having, right? It's an example of what's possible, and then your belief is like, oh shit. And then you realize that your belief is inaccurate. And once you realize your beliefs are inaccurate, then it's much easier to transcend them, right? And then you're like, oh yeah, money isn't hard to earn. It doesn't require all this fucking effort. It gets to be fun. Actually, I get to be compensated generously for doing what I love, right? So, and then you tell yourself that story, and you have to consciously tell yourself that story. Create a affirmation on your phone to pop up about how easily money comes to you on your phone, like every day. I mean, as a reminder, every day, even throughout the day, money comes to me from thin air. Money comes to me from thin air. Tell a different story about how money actually works. And when you do, you start believing that new story, and that new story becomes your reality. Okay? That's how it works. But like, many people don't take the time to become aware of their limiting beliefs, to reprogram their limiting beliefs. You see? So it does take a little bit of effort, but then the rewards that come from putting in this like really minimal effort in reprogramming yourself are astounding. And it works on every level of your being, right? So abundance, loving relationships, health, right? When we start dismantling those limiting beliefs, then everything and anything is totally available to us, because that is what is natural. What is natural is abundance and health and love and freedom. And whenever any of those things aren't met, we feel shitty, because we're like, oh my God, but I'm an infinite being. How is it that I'm not rich? How is it that I'm not like married to my dream partner? How is it that I'm not, super fucking clear skinned and healthy? Like, it just doesn't even compute ultimately. And that's the dissonance that we feel. That's why we feel shitty sometimes and frustrated, is because we're like, this is so unnatural, what I'm experiencing. But that's okay. That contrast is there for you to gain clarity on what it is that you do want, okay? So don't be afraid of the contrast in your experience. It's there for a reason. It is molding you and shaping you into the you that you actually want to be. But it's the ego that steps in and says, no, this experience is bad. I can't see the point of this experience. Therefore, I resist it. Oh, I don't want this. And then we create more of that experience then in our lives, if this makes sense. So if I go, I don't want a disloyal man. Oh, all the men are disloyal. I don't want a disloyal man. All the men are disloyal. I don't want a disloyal man. Then that's what I end up creating in my experience, right? Because I'm like resisting it. It's like, no, instead I could be like, what do I want? So I know what I don't want. I don't want a disloyal man. So what do I actually want? I want a super committed, loyal man who loves me. Excuse me, I just ate, so I'm burping. A man who loves me, supports me, treats me like a princess, blah, 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 blah. This is what I want. And when you focus there, that's already raising your vibration. So, focusing, just literally moving the focus from what you don't want to what you do want is such a powerful thing. And we have to practice it in every moment of every day. We just have to learn to really, really focus on what brings us joy, what makes us feel good. And when we realize that, oh, this thought I'm having doesn't feel good, that thought is out of alignment with your inner being, with who you really are. Who you really are knows that you're infinite. It knows that you're worthy. It knows that you're enough. It knows how powerful you are. It knows your potential, okay? So when you think like small thoughts of scarcity and like fear and like guilt or shame, then like your inner being's like, no, that's bullshit. And that's when you feel those emotions, those negative emotions, they're just telling you that you're going the wrong way. Does that make sense? Your desire, the direction of your desire feels good, okay? So how you know you're going in the wrong direction? is you feel bad. Your internal guidance system is guiding you literally to your desire when you feel good. But when you feel bad, when you're like, oh shit, what's gonna happen? Or, oh, what if it doesn't work out? And you're going in the wrong direction. I mean, or that thought that you're entertaining is just bullshit, right? So you just focus on something else that feels a little better, focus on something else, tell yourself a different story, and then it actually turns out the way you want. Does this make sense? It's actually extremely simple, so sometimes I feel like I'm saying obvious things. You guys let me know if it's obvious. You let me know if I need to clarify anything, if I'm not expressing something clearly enough. It's up to you. Hussein says, is it okay to clean your skin with just water? No. No, definitely not. Morel Swain says, so true and clapping. Pia says, really needed this awareness. I've been wanting to find a mentor for my job search, but the desire has been fear-based, so it has not come to my experience yet. I find that the easiest way to manifest is ask what if. Be like, what if the perfect mentor came into my life? And then let go, and then go focus on something else, do something else. The universe knows what you want, okay? But when you're afraid, it doesn't come. It just doesn't come. It can't because you're afraid. It's when you're afraid, just liken it to being blind. But when you're in alignment, that's you seeing all the possibilities. So when the perfect person comes into your life, you're like, your spidey senses begin tingling, right? You're like, oh, that's exactly what I wanted. Wow. You know what I mean? It's like the way I've read it in a few books like this, and so I forgot exactly who said it, but it's like they say that love is like, imagine a lit up room, and that's all the love, abundance, health, like a really bright room, okay? So when you're in alignment, you see you're like, holy fuck, I'm in, like there's infinite abundance, there's infinite health, there's infinite wealth, there's infinite everything that I want. But then when you're out of alignment, that's the equivalent of you closing your eyes and being like, where's the abundance? Where's the wealth? Where's the health? Where's the fucking clear skin? I can't see it. Does that make sense? Hi, baby.
Hello.
So let me see. I'm just scrolling comments. Ciao, Bella. Mamma Mia says from Roma, Italia. We're going to Sicily, right, baby?
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to Sicily, actually. It's new information, so I'm really excited. We've never been to Sicily. Sorry, I'm just reading your comments. Dre Christina says, girl, you are hitting it out of the ballpark. Love this. Ooh, thank you. Sophia FC 5555 says, ooh, that's lots of fives. Five is my, there's my perfect dream man husband right there. Cutie pie. Sophia says, you are right, Olena. Being thankful, that's the best approach to any situation. But like literally, not just any situation, but every situation. It's this ultimate life hack, gratitude. I've been learning it too, and it's been showing me that like literally, sometimes situations your first response is this is uncomfortable, but then you're like grateful for it, and then you realize, this is happening because of this and this and this and this and this, and then you suddenly see hope, and then you see a light, and then you see some guidance, and then the answers come, and you're like, okay, so. And that uncomfortable feeling was that initial distrust, that ego thought. The ego wants you to be afraid, right? It wants you to be like, oh my God, I don't know what to do, right? Oh man. Dikaya says, I love your positivity. You're such an inspiring soul. Thank you so much. That's very kind. Mario Savaro says, ciao, Mario. Melissa Melati says, Esther Hicks, wouldn't it be nice if, exactly, it's a law of attraction trick. You just say, wouldn't it be nice if I got the perfect mentor? Boom, done. Wouldn't it be nice if I got $1 million? Boom, done. Wouldn't it be nice if I had clear skin, like by this and this day? Right? I used to do this actually. I would write these letters to myself. I'd be like, I'm going to go on vacation with this super hot guy. And then I would go on vacation with a super hot guy and be like, my bosses are going to give me some time off for this vacation. So it is, and I would just like write what I wanted, and then I would have what I wanted, and I wouldn't worry about it. Man, I was so wise when I was younger. Fuck. This was before all these books. It's funny. I was rereading my diary, my online diary a while ago, like last week or something, or 2 weeks ago. And it was funny because the way I was writing, it was like all the ways that I think now, and I didn't realize it. And it just made me chuckle that even, in all the contrast, I was still making sense of it. And I was still getting really clear on my desires and manifesting exactly what I wanted ultimately. And it was just cool to have like, what is it called? A record, of it all, of the contrast and then the resulting desires that came out of the contrast. Because according to the law of attraction, we have these rockets of desire that shoot up anytime we experience anything that we don't want, right? So whenever there's something that we don't want, the contrast, that just makes us very clear on what we do want, right? And so that rocket of desire shoots up into your vibrational escrow, as it's called in the law of attraction books, right? Vibrational escrow just means it's like a collection of everything that you want in your vortex. I'm using terms maybe that you guys are unfamiliar with, but anyway, you're a vibrational being, and all those things that you want are there for you in your vortex, right? But the only thing that you need to do is allow that shit to come into your experience here, right? And instead of doing that, we go, oh no, I'm afraid. Might not happen. Oh no, money doesn't grow on trees, or something else. Oh, acne is genetic. Oh, I mean, that person, it seems to work for her. She seems to have clear skin, but me, I'm some special fucking case. And then we tell stories of, oh, I must be something wrong with my gut. Oh, it must be something wrong with my hormones, something else. No, you're a deliberate motherfucking creator. So if you think that there's something wrong with your hormones, guess the fuck what? You're literally creating a hormonal imbalance. And by the way, this is all proven biologically. This isn't some mumbo jumbo or woo-woo bullshit. Like, this is actually true from a law of attraction perspective and from a biological perspective, because every cell in your body is listening to you. And I thought that was like a fucking metaphor until I read Biology of Belief. And I realized that every cell in our bodies is actually listening to us. And I was like, holy fuck, cells are amazing. I'm a community of 50 trillion cells. This is so cool, right? So if you tell your 50 trillion cells that you have a hormonal imbalance, what? What do you think? They're not going to listen to you? They're going to ignore you? And oh, she's just kidding. No, your 50 trillion cells are going to create a hormonal imbalance. This is why I'm so adamant about the whole don't restrict yourself with food and blame food for acne. Once I made that whole connection and realization, my mind was it was not really blown though, because it was so obvious, and I just couldn't believe that it was so obvious and it took me so long to realize. Because again, our environment, we have to be careful what we have in our environment and what we allow into our environment, because I was surrounded by information that told me that bad skin equaled internal problems. That was all I saw. So if that was all I saw, then that became my belief. And when that became my belief, that also became my experience. A law of attraction. So it took a while to reprogram myself and be like, no, Olena, not the reason. You made that shit up. And so many of us are making that shit up, and we're making lots of shit up, not just, food causes acne, facial mapping. No, it's other things like money doesn't grow on trees, I mean, money's technically made from trees. And it's just energy. All of this stuff is energy. And once we realize that all of this stuff is energy, we can let go of the need to control. The outcome is there for you, unless you're obsessed with it and you're desperate for it to come into your experience, because you're not happy right now because you think that that thing will make you happy, in which case, just will not come. It will not come, because that is repulsive energy, okay? This is very, very important. So just imagine like a desperate girl around a guy when she's like, okay, whenever you want to hang out, we'll hang out, blah, blah, blah. You know, like he's repulsed, right? But also on the law of attraction perspective, she isn't loving herself. She isn't feeling good. She thinks that her worth is tied up in somebody else's approval or like of her, right? And so that when you do things like that, you're out of integrity with your whole inner being. Okay, because your inner being knows how worthy you are. So when you're acting like an unworthy person, like a low value person, even though you're so high value, it's infinite, right? When you're acting so totally out of alignment with who you really are, you end up repelling everything that you want. Does this make sense? Because the secret is loving yourself and being in alignment with yourself. It just means connecting with your realist self, with your truest desires. Instead of saying yes when you feel like saying no, you say no. And another, I guess, part of all of this is what alignment is not, because a lot of people are afraid to be in alignment because it almost sounds like you have to surrender. And surrender sounds scary because must control everything, right? Like, but what if like in alignment, I'll be a pushover? Because a lot of people are afraid of looking weak, being vulnerable when you're in alignment. When you're in alignment, you can never be vulnerable in the sense that as in danger of something not happening the way you know what I mean? What I'm trying to say is, many people equate alignment with like a breathy voice, you know, no swearing, not saying no, turning the other cheek and all this stuff, right? But there is no such thing like as in, there's no like behavior that you have to model when you're in alignment. There's nobody you have to be except yourself. So, you know, like you might see somebody who's in alignment and it looks like a breathy voice and being like ridiculously kind and never swearing, right? But that doesn't mean that that's your alignment. So that means, so what I'm trying to say is alignment sometimes means saying no. Alignment sometimes means standing up for yourself, doing the uncomfortable, you know, being brave in the face of whatever, right? Alignment is who you really are, and who you really are can swear. It doesn't mean you're out of alignment just because you're swearing. You know what I mean? Because there's all these weird limitations around alignment. There's one face of alignment, and I have to wear a white robe, and if I don't wear a white robe, I am out of alignment. You know what I mean? No, there's no such thing. It's not a cult being in alignment. So it will look different from person to person. But what it just means is that you feel good right the fuck now. And then your path might look different from another person's path. But that's okay. Once you stop judging your path, it will unfold in the most beautiful way. Okay? And so some people think that alignment just means like literally zero problems, zero challenges, zero obstacles. And technically, yes. Like when I have things in my life that don't feel good, I just don't see them as challenges or obstacles or problems. So technically I don't have problems or challenges or obstacles, right? Because to me it's just like, just life. So to me it doesn't feel like, oh my God, what is this? What do I do? You know, and it's like, no, if I don't know what to do, I'll just chill. And I know that the universe is sending me an answer. Right? And that to some people, especially the control freaks among us, I used to be a control freak, by the way, a perfectionist and control freak, right? I used to think that I needed to control everything. And now I know I'm just like, no, I really don't have to. I can just chill the fuck out. And when I chill the fuck out, the answer either comes to me as a wonderful insight, or somebody will call me and give me the answer. Somebody will literally reach out to me and be like, hey, here's the answer. Literally, this happens. So what I'm saying is alignment is like minimal effort. It's the path of least resistance. But sometimes alignment means like saying no, Okay. And that's what this is something that recently I've been kind of learning to implement is it's okay for me to say no. Like, it's not that I have an issue saying no, but like, as in having no guilt around it. Oh, that's a different story, right? Letting go of guilt around certain expectations of behaviors and all this stuff, right? Because there's so many limiting beliefs. We're like an onion of limiting beliefs. We have to keep peeling back those limiting beliefs until we reveal our true selves in the middle. Okay? Does that make sense? So I hope this makes sense. Raquelia says, I like to say, wouldn't it be nice if? Wonderful. Yes, there you go. You and Melissa Melati are on the same page. Alignment. You and Melissa Melati are in alignment with me. Yay! Rashmi says, thank you so much. Affirmations. I need to reprogram my abundance beliefs. You are right. Love the positivity you radiate. My pleasure. Not just abundance beliefs, but relationship beliefs, right? You get to have it all. And I know, guys, that it might feel a little intimidating to think that you can have your dream partner, because I know that all of us have it in our minds. We really actually know exactly what we want. But then we go, oh, but this person in front of me is like half that. Maybe I'm okay with half that. No, your inner being is not okay with half that. Your inner being knows you get to have it all. So you will feel probably off about accepting half of what you want, right? Like, you're going to feel some type of way and it's not going to be up here, right? You're going to be like, what the fuck is this? Half that? Yeah, your inner being is going to fight you on it. And what's interesting is this is what I found. I found anytime I tried to settle in my life, the universe would step in, fuck shit up. So I had to expand. I always had to expand. And so I realize now that I can't settle ever, because the universe will fuck it up for me and it will still force me to expand, because it will always do what is best for me, even when I don't do what is best for me. So I know that I'm always supported, whether or not I know it, whether or not I see it, whether or not I support myself in the moment, I'm still always supported and guided in the right exact direction for me. And so once I really came to terms with that, life became much easier. Much easier, okay? Much easier. Melissa Melati says, what about with leaky gut? Do you still believe that can give you pimples if you have eggs, for example? No, Melissa. And Melissa Melati, by the way, is of the Namaste podcast, so you guys should check her out. She's really awesome. She interviewed me on her podcast, and it was super fun. But Melissa, your questioning on the podcast, it kind of guided my answers, if that makes sense, right? So because you were asking about leaky gut, I was telling you about leaky gut, but it wasn't the focus, right, for me. And it never is. Once upon a time, when I was first getting into all this stuff and doing all my research, that was, of course, a popular fucking perspective. Gut, acne, gut, acne. Of course you want a healthy gut, but it's so much simpler to have a healthy gut than fucking all the food restrictions. And so upon further and further research, I'm like, no, I don't care about leaky gut whatsoever. I don't care about leaky gut. It's not something I focus on. I don't tell people what to eat because it's not about that. Have a good skincare routine. Love the fuck out of yourself. Find alignment in every moment of every day and you will have perfect skin, right? Just let's stop overcomplicating even our health. Because many people literally make themselves sick in the process of getting healthy. Did you hear me? Many people make themselves sick in the process of getting healthy. With the intention to get healthy, they make themselves sick. Okay? Because it's not what we do, it's the intention, the sponsoring thought behind what we do. Is it rooted in love or is it rooted in fear? Because if it's rooted in love, then we will succeed and we'll have what we want. But if it's rooted in fear, and it often is, we're just going to make all the wrong decisions and do all the wrong things. Okay? So Morales Vane says, in gluten and dairy, gluten is not the best food. Dairy, I just don't like the industry itself because it's, horrible. But is the gluten in dairy bad for you? Like that bad for you to cause acne? No, they're just not good for your body. I mean, dairy is not that bad for your body. It's really skim milk that is terrible for your body, but all the other dairy is actually more or less okay. I know you're like, what? And gluten is not ideal for the body whatsoever. It does disrupt our gut, but does that cause acne? No. It's the clogging on your skin that causes acne. The stuff that's happening here is causing inflammation in your gut. But that's inflammation in your gut, not on your skin. We cause inflammation on our skin by using shitty shit on our skin, by not protecting our skin, by basically assaulting or neglecting our skin, right? That's why we cause inflammation here, okay? So me, like I said, I don't eat gluten all the time, but I do eat it once in a while. And because my relationship with gluten is not like, oh my God, gluten, the end of the world. If I eat gluten, there's something wrong with me. Oh, it means bad skin. Because I don't have that story anymore, of course, my skin is fine. And because I have a good relationship with dairy, I indulge in the occasional dessert. And once again, my skin is fine, right? But of course, I've learned all this stuff on nutrition, so it doesn't mean I'm eating McDonald's every day. That's terrible, right? And many people, they think in extremes. It's black or it's white. And it's like, it's not black or white, it's alignment. So when you're in alignment, you'll find that you'll gravitate towards certain foods and not others, right? But you won't feel bad about yourself when you indulge sometimes, right? That's the difference. It's the stop feeling bad about yourself difference, right? Because many of us, we eat the shit and then we feel bad about ourselves, or we'll feel bad about ourselves as we're eating the shit. That is some kind of unconscious bullshit, isn't it? How can you be doing something that you think is bad for you? That doesn't make any sense. So of course it's going to result in terrible consequences, right? Because you're so out of alignment that you're like, this is going to cause a problem. This is terrible for me. Yeah, you're so out of alignment that of course it's going to be terrible for you. Does this make sense? But like on a biological level, when you're stressed and you're eating, you're turning off mineral absorption, and it's a cascading effect that turns into a fight or flight response, and you end up basically in survival mode instead of growth. And your body thrives in growth. It heals in growth. It's amazing in growth. But when we're in survival mode, because many of us, we put ourselves there with our minds, then nothing works. And then our bodies do fall apart. And then we're like, oh my God, leaky gut, hormonal imbalance, PCOS, blah, blah, blah. Well, where's the fucking alignment? I keep telling you. KPPK. Do you think you can tell when someone else is in alignment? Yeah. I see it literally every day, all the time, with everyone. Alignment is people feeling good, and then out of alignment is people feeling bad. So of course there's people who will feel bad, and they'll tell stories about why they feel bad, and I'm like, yep, you're out of alignment. But for me, it's not like a judgment. It's just like a awareness of, okay, so I see this person is telling this story, and I can see how it affects them, and I can see what they believe, and I can see that it's ending up as their reality. So I have to be mindful of not doing the same thing unknowingly, right? The way the person is. So for me, it's just an example of anything kind of thing. So I go through life now looking at examples of what feels good and what I want more of, and then what I don't want. It's like a catalog. And so I'm like, yep, want more of this? Gonna take this. Oh, that, not interested. Oh, I want more of this. Oh, that looks good. I want that, That's how it kind of works. How do you surround yourself with others in alignment? It's not a matter of doing anything. What alignment is, ultimately, it's doing nothing and accomplishing everything. So what I found is the more in alignment I am, naturally, the people around me are more in alignment. So I don't have to go and tell them to get into alignment. I don't have to tell them to read all the books. I don't have to tell them to do anything. By me being happy, maybe it just brings out the best in them. I don't know. But it doesn't fucking matter. It's not my... Here's the thing. Here's the difference. It's something else I wanted to talk to you guys about. Alignment is all about me, Being out of alignment is all about you. Meaning, when I'm in alignment, I know that everything is my responsibility. And I don't care what you are doing over there, okay? I don't give a fuck. If you're serving like yourself or you're not, if you're, treating yourself like shit or you're not, I don't care, because I'm interested in my own alignment, right? And I'm not interested in controlling you, manipulating you. I'm not worried about you because I know you're a deliberate creator and you're going through your path. So I don't even need to judge your path because I don't know your path, because I'm focused on my path. That's alignment. Out of alignment, holy fuck. Out of alignment means you're focused on the other. You're usually blaming the other. You're not taking responsibility, right? And you're also focused on, if you only change, if you only say the right thing, then I'll feel happy. So it's everyone around you is responsible for your happiness or lack thereof, right? So you're not happy, so, it's my parents, it's my job, it's society, and then you go around, usually when you're out of alignment, you also go around not just blaming in your mind. You'll go into people's inboxes, you'll troll YouTube channels, right? You'll write terrible complaints when you're out of alignment, right? You'll take what you're feeling and then you'll try to throw it at people. You'll be like, here, I feel shitty. But you don't say, I feel shitty. You say, you're an asshole. You suck. You this, you that. It's a you thing when you're out of alignment. When you're in alignment, you say, I feel like this. When you're out of alignment, you say, you make me feel like this. Does this make sense? So when you're in alignment and you're just in your own lane, focusing on your own vibration, you automatically will think nice things, you'll do nice things, you'll be improving the planet just by you being in alignment, So it's like a win-win-win-win-win for everybody, because you don't create loses. You don't when you're in alignment, right? So the people around you, you'll just notice that the people, when you're up here, vibing up here, only similar other things come in. Only similar things. So that means if in your life you have people that are super out of alignment, super negative or whatever, they will filter themselves out without you needing to do anything. Okay? And so that's what I found. It's just the people who have been out of alignment, they just kind of disappeared. And then the people who are left are the ones who are in alignment. And so sometimes I forget what a powerful creator I am. And so somebody comes into my experience who's out of alignment and I feel like I need to help them or da-da-da. It's in that moment I'm forgetting that they're a deliberate creator, I'm a deliberate creator. So if they're going to be out of alignment and come into my experience, I actually don't have to give them any energy. I could just be like, bye, you go off now. You're a deliberate creator. You do you, but you're not going to be a judgmental asshole in my inbox. You know what I mean? But in the past, I would have been more indulgent, more patient, and blah, blah, blah. But only, and this is very disempowering. This is very disempowering to try to change somebody when they're out of alignment. This disempowers you and them simultaneously. When we try to control another person, when we try to, especially, it's just so terrible. It never works. When we try to control somebody else, we come out of alignment, and then we disempower them at the same time. So it becomes a lose-lose. So we can't. Everybody is responsible for their own shit. We can only be an example of what alignment is, right? And you can't worry about anybody else. There's no point, quite literally, okay? Because it will create more of what you don't want, ultimately. If you're like, I wish people were more this or that, it's like, well, that's what you're focused on, what you don't have, instead of focusing on what you want and what you do already have. You're focusing on what you don't have. You know what I mean? Does this make sense? So great question, though. Really fabulous question. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, I have a minute remaining. Raquelia says, you know how much in alignment Melissa and I are today? Today I ate eggs for breakfast and didn't worry they were going to break me out. I feel the stress around food is worse than the food itself. It absolutely is. It's not the food that's bad. It's your relationship with the food that's off, that needs changing, right? So that's amazing. And Melissa says, amazing. I'm so glad I asked. Thanks, girl. Aw, you guys are so awesome. Thank you so much. Mama Mia says, Olena, do you speak Russian? Da, конечно. Okay, guys, I'm sorry I can't get to the rest of your comments, but you guys are amazing. Thank you so much for joining me on today's live. I hope that it has helped you maybe shift a little bit in your thinking, because that's where it all begins, right here in the mind, right? When we shift up here, everything else changes. It influences our health, our wealth, our relationships, everything, right? And remember, you're a deliberate creator. And when you feel good first, you create whatever the fuck you want. Have a beautiful day. This was Olena. Talk to you next time.